All right, welcome in. It's Mr. Lositis here. We're going to do a volume test review. This should be test 6.7 coming up for you this week. Let's check out a few questions and then we'll have a time to climb at the end. So, first one is kind of our most basic. We want to make sure we remember these volume equations. These are going to be super important, and that's really what we have to memorize to be able to do these. Once we have these equations memorized, we just have to work with them, use the lengths that were given, and plug them in. So volume equals length times width times height. We can also say that volume, shouldn't say minus, should say equals. Volume equals area of the base times height. And this makes sense because the area of the base is actually equal to length times width. Because if you remember our old equation, area equals length times width. Okay, let's look at this one. It's a rectangular prism, has the following measurements. What is the volume? So my length is 3, my width is 4, my height is 5. I just need to fill in what I know. I know length is 3, so I'm going to multiply that times the width times the height of 5. And now I just need to do the math. 3 times 4 is 12 times 5. That's going to get me 60. So 60 centimeters cubed, or cubic centimeters, we could see. Got to make sure we get our units correct. Cubic centimeters. All right, that's the first one. Let's check out another. Number 2, very similar, but instead of having volume to solve for, we're solving for the missing length. Well, we're going to use the same equation. Volume equals length times width times height. Let's plug in what we know. In this case, we know volume is 45. We don't know the length, so I'm going to keep it as L. We know the width, that's 3. We know the height, and that's 5. So on these ones, this looks sort of confusing right now, but I would encourage you to do what you know first, and then we'll get to the rest. So I know that 45 is still going to be here. I don't know what to do with L yet, so I'll leave it. But I know 3 times 5 is 15, so I'm going to go ahead and do 15. And that kind of simplifies my equation a little bit. At this point, I can think to myself, what number can I substitute for length and get it to work? So in other words, 15 times what number gets me 35? I can do that and kind of do some trial and error and try and figure that out. In this case, it's going to be 3 because I know 3 times 15 is 45. But another way to do this is I can also use division to help me. Remember, the opposite of multiplication is division. So 15 times what number is the same as saying 45 divided by 15 equals L, equals the length. And 45 divided by 15 is also going to be 3. So my length is 3 centimeters. Either way I do it. All right, let's look at 2 more in the next video. So we're going to stop this one. We'll have one more video with numbers 3 and 4.